Okay, today I'm on the bench taking apart 2003 Toyota Corolla 1.8 liter. The transmission is an A245, and this was a tow and it came in not moving. Pretty much when you put it in gear, came from a wholesale account, when you put it in gear you just kind of hear a noise like a gear running around, and that when we heard the noise we figured something broke inside, and I'll show you what I found. Something actually did break. But this is a little different if you've taken apart like an A140 or an A540. This is a little different, and I'll show you what I mean by that, because mainly of the part that I found that's broken. Because on the other Toyotas, the way it's made, it's not made like that. Alright, so let me get a little closer here. And we will begin. We're going to open up the pump, we'll open up the drums, look at the clutches. I'll show you the valve body. This particular one has an EPC solenoid, so there is no cable. Alright, so I'll just do a quick highlight video on this unit. Okay, so first, just to let you know what I found, this is, I guess you could say, the output shaft. You have the transfer gear. Okay, this gear goes on the back of this, and then you have your end nut on. Alright, and then you have the rear ring gear. The rear ring gear is kind of like built into this output shaft, because this piece goes here, and then you have the snap ring that goes in. And when I took it apart, I found the snap ring was out, and this was out. It was just kind of spinning around. And this, you could see, has a crack in it. So there is my no movement condition. And the other transmissions, like the 140 and the 540s, you know, this rear ring gear is splined onto the shaft, and then it would come out when you took the back cover off and took the gear out. But this actually is the other way around. So there's my no movement condition. Let me just turn my light on here. Okay, so let's just go through this quickly because I don't have much time here. Alright, here is the bell housing. You just pretty much got some lube tubes and stuff in there, no big deal. Take the bolts out, she'll pop right out. Alright, it is on a couple of dowels. Alright, the case, when you take the bolts out and split the case, you're going to have a seal. Where is that seal? This seal is going to go right in here, like that. Okay, and you have more tubes. This is going to apply for the servo, for the band, but the band is, this is your band here. It's kind of like just like a coast band. And the servo for that is this little guy right here. That also, typically of a Toyota, this is in like the 140s. Alright, and then we have the whole other section down in here. I'm going to get the exact name, but it's probably something like a reduction clutch. Alright, and in the back, pretty much your transfer gears go in here and here. Alright, so I took the nut off and the shaft came right out. And then also to get this section out, that's where that gear came from, and to get this section out you also have to take this nut off and slide this out, which is really only on this transmission. And here's the end nut, you know. I mean, it's held on, you take it off. And this one, I had to use a puller to pull the gear off, and then the whole setup slid right out. And this one is going to pretty much stay in here, but I just use that as an example from before. Okay, got a couple of sprays in this. This is your intermediate sprayeg here. Alright, you got your low sprayeg on to the rear planet. Alright, so this will, let me just face this down a little bit now. Okay, so this will come off. This is your low spread. And you notice you have a shiny side here, and you have a dull side here. All right, when you're putting this back in, it'll go on either way, but shiny side is gonna face up. All right, and then you have a plastic washer on one side and a plastic washer on the other side. And that's where this rear ring gear would go onto that. All right, so shiny side up on the spray. Okay. All right, this is in that possible reduction clutch. Again, I'm gonna get the exact name. I'm just kind of trying to rush here and to get this thing done because I'm running really behind schedule. All right, intermediate clutch piston goes in the case, and you have to line this up just like you do any typical Toyota. There is a feed hole in here, and to feed that, you got a couple of seals that go through the case. Okay, this is one, this is the other. So it goes through the case, and this will go on here and feed the feed hole, and then this will seal that from leaking. So that's kind of how it sits in the case. All right, and when you line this up, you have to line up the feed hole here, and then there is a tab to keep this from spinning. So as long as you get that hole lined up properly, drop this in, this thing will fall right into place. And then you have your springs and your intermediate frictions. All right, so when you start to stack this up, the pressure plate is going to go down first, stack up, springs, and piston like that. Let's see, low reverse clutches. All right, these will stack the regular way, pressure plate on top, and then the snap ring. All right, transmission is not in that bad a shape because just that one piece broke. All right, got your planetary here. All right, you have a race that goes on here. You have a bearing, open face bearing here. Race. Planet and bearing and race, open face bearing and race here, and that goes on here. All right, so let's take a look at these clutches. All right, real quick, diff, typical diff for a Toyota. All right, here you're gonna have a 3-tab washer, which is going to go, just line up the tabs, put those right in. Then we also have a bearing here. Okay, that is going to sit down. All right, so let's take a look at these clutches real quick. Sure the mileage on this, but transmission's really not in that bad a shape, but I had the pan down, just a little bit of metal in the pan. But you know, when we put this thing in gear, you can hear something like it's running around. So, you know, definitely figured something broke. Okay, can you guys see? No, you cannot see. Let me just reposition here. Let me come down a little bit. And over. Okay. Forward clutch, bearing here, bearing and race here, open face. And that would sit on, rides on this race here. Okay. Okay, not bad. Very, very nice. All right, we're going to open up this pump real quick. And also in this case, just put this case goes, you have your 3 accumulators here, just kind of, can you guys see this? Now, let me just reposition, give me 1 second. Okay, so on this case, you got 4 accumulators. Typical one, you know, looks like this. So just try to keep them how they come out. You know, sometimes you cannot mix them up. They won't fit, they'll fit too loose, but you know, just note how they come out and how they go back in and where their location is. So I keep everything kind of lined up of how they come out, and then they just go right back in. All right, this one here, this spot right here, you have an anti-drain back, kind of ball and spring. All right, that's your typical Toyota. And then in this bolt hole, and the seals for the intermediate go here, and in this bolt hole you have an anti-rattle clip. All right, and that pretty much goes on like this when the unit's together, and then you have a bolt that goes in. And then down in, all right, so you know what, there's going to be a location of another anti-rattle clip that I'm going to have to get for you. I just want to make sure 100% on where it goes. Okay, so let's open up this pump quick. And I can show you a few more things, and then I got to get rolling. I don't really get too many of these A245s, so thing landed on my bench kind of early, but I did want to try to do something. A couple of rings on the stator, washer on the stator. They're generally pretty good. Okay, pump is nice. I'm going to put a new bushing in. But body and gears are really nice. Okay, so we have the underdrive here, another spray egg. Okay, this will come off. Just, you know, kind of note your rotation, and you have a washer here. Okay, plastic washer here. Let's take a look at these clutches. I know I had said reduction before, but it's pretty much the same thing, but technically it's underdrive. Okay, still actually see the writing on these frictions, but yeah, a little dark, but I feel better. Of course, typical banner kit I'll be getting for this. Okay, there's that. That is good. Here is this other setup. This thing. Okay, so here is the sun gear. Now this sits on the stator with a couple of rings, then you're going to have a washer that goes on, and then this is going to go on like that. And then you could put this piece on. Alright, valve body. This is a later one. Here you have an EPC solenoid. Okay, you have your 2 shift solenoids. 2 shift solenoids here, and your lockup solenoid here. Alright, here's the internal harness. Take the bolt out, this comes right out so nothing gets damaged. Alright, I think that is about it for this '03 Toyota Corolla. And again, this rear ring gear. So I'm actually going to change the whole set. I'm going to get this whole set with the Planet, and more than likely with the, just to make sure that this is okay. Yeah, this really doesn't look like it got damaged. It looks like the gear just split, and that's it. But I'll probably get the whole set just to be on the safe side, instead of just getting the one piece. And I think that is about it. So, you know what, there is one more thing, and I'm honestly not 100% sure of the location, but I'm going to get it, and as I'm putting this back together, I'll film it. There is another anti-rattle clip for the underdrive Sprague. All right, and when I pulled the setup out, it fell out. And again, not 100% sure, so I'm going to be finding out today. I'm going to call my tech service today, get a diagram of this location of this clip, and I'm going to show you that because that is very important. I just want to give you the location of this anti-rattle clip here. All right, so I'm just going to get my flashlight on, and here it is right here against the case. All right, and then the Sprague would go on, so just make sure you check your rotation of the Sprague. It should be able to go on like that. When I was talking to my tech service, actually, because I was looking around and I couldn't find a location, so he sent me a photo. He says it may go on. You can put the clip in first, or you may have to put them both on together, meaning the clip and the Sprague. So I'm going to try it like this first. Normally you can, but I just wanted to make sure I showed you guys the location of this anti-rattle clip. Here is a shot of the clip in place with the Sprague in place as well. So for me, I actually put both in at the same time, and it went in fairly simple. All right, I used some trans gel, the green trans gel, to keep it keep it attached to the Sprague, and then I put everything in as one, and it went in real nice. All right, so you saw the location of the clip with and without the Sprague in place. And again, 2003 Toyota Corolla A245 trans, it's a 1.8 liter, and the problem was we found on the output shaft, the rear ring gear was split, causing a no-move condition. All right, so thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next one.